Hello, everybody. My name is Markiplier, and welcome back to the Corn Holiocram. This time we have
Oops, wrong intro.
we got a different guest this time. It's gonna be Temporal. He's my real life friend. Basically, what ended up happening with the previous guy, Corn Holio. He ended up having we just ended up having scheduling issues, and we weren't making any progress at all. We weren't talking much at all either. We're still great friends, still on great terms. Don't sweat that. But it just wasn't gonna work out if the podcast was explicitly both of us. So since it's on my channel, I decided, and I did reach out about him about this, and he's given me the green light. I just decided, hey, what if I just bring in other people other than one person and actually have it be a bit more fun? So here we are with Temporal Thoughts. Say hello.
Hello, and thank you for having me here.
All right, very cool. Thank you very much.
Don't got much to say, but yeah, thanks for having me.
I mean, you're literally like the one person who will say yes to any idea I have. So, am I wrong? You agreed to be
I like
on
the
this?
idea. I like the idea. It sounded fun.
Speaking about fun, we're gonna be talking about a game. Surprising, considering our previous two episodes.
Which I've heard are also about games.
Yeah, he hasn't seen anything.
I haven't. I've been planning on it. I'll get there.
Sure. Just as a heads up to any new time viewers, if there may be any, our previous two episodes were about Kirby Air Ride and Rayman Arena for the GameCube. Both of these were games that we used to play, me and Cornholio at least, used to play as a child, and had some memory of at least. And
I've gotten to play a tiny bit of Kirby Air Ride. That was fun.
Oh yeah, that was
Although,
through me.
Thanks to you.
Yes. His first experience was playing a slightly modified version of Air Ride, specifically City Trial, obviously the best mode.
Was me getting dunked on by this pro gamer.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like I grew up with the game. I don't know if that kind of changed anything or not.
Nah, you're just really good at it.
No matter what, we're here to talk about a new game this time. It's not a game from our childhood, surprisingly enough.
Yeah, it's also a new game. I think it came out this year.
I kind of already said that, but yes, it is a new game.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, but as in it came out this year. Anyway.
Well, it came out March 4th, actually, of this year. So, very recently. The game is called Everhood. No, not Neverhood, the point-and-click claymation adventure back in, like, 1998 or whatever, that panned critically and was kind of bad puzzle-wise, but was cool atmospherically. We're talking Everhood. The Undertale-esque rhythm-avoiding Guitar Hero game.
Yeah, it's like the stage are set up like Guitar Hero, but it does not play anywhere near a rhythm game.
It can in a sense, but especially when that's not really spoilers. It can play as a rhythm game in a sense. It is nice to have rhythm so you can know when to avoid stuff, but it is a Guitar Hero sort of on rails sort of dodging.
It is that
bullet heck.
Yeah, it is that style.
Mm-hmm. And those
go on.
No,
Sorry.
No, you.
I was just saying it's a lot of fun. In my opinion.
Yes, it is. Muchos. What's Spanish for fun?
Gracias.
Muchas gracias.
You can't tell I know my foreign languages.
I work with people who speak Spanish on the daily, and I don't know my Spanish. Muy bien.
Muy bien. Beat me to it. Anyway, it's I'd say it's a pretty short game experience, but it gets all the points done very well. And it tells its story very...
Sorry, I just have a dog stuck in my door.
What?
My family dog was just stuck at my door. He was like, "Can I come in, please?" My mom delivered me a package just now.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
The story is one that I will not be spoiling yet, but it makes more sense the second time you play it.
Yeah.
'Cause
I will be giving the trailer version of the story, as far as I'm aware of what the trailer spoils. You lose your hand, and this is a quest to get it back. And that's the main story, really. And on your quest to get it back, you meet various crazy, zany people, and you gotta avoid their attacks. And then they're like, "Man, you're pretty good. Want to be friends?"
Some some of whom are immensely depressed for
Uh,
reasons found out later in the game.
Hold on. Who are you talking about there? I'm not following.
So one of them is the receptionist at the bar, the
Mm.
pink-haired girl or violet-haired girl.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, find out later she's super depressed.
I didn't interact with many people. I just played for
Oh,
the gameplay.
yeah, I found out as much as I could.
Yeah, he has about twice as many hours as me, and I personally I just played through it once to play through the game, and that was it. So
I'm working on my second playthrough.
yeah,
There's some,
very different gameplays.
yeah, but I think that makes a more diverse discussion.
Mm-hmm. Because I can talk
Uh,
about how it is from a gameplay stance, while he can talk about it from a narrative stance. That's the word, narrative.
um, so I guess slight spoilers ahead. What was the main standout of this game to you? Like battles, music, because the music's also great. I actually found myself listening to the soundtrack on the side just for fun.
I haven't been listening to the soundtrack nearly as much as I should be. It is a bop. It's got some great songs. It's got a surprisingly a wide diversity of songs too. So that's pretty
Yeah,
good.
it's got like classical
Uh,
guitar at one point in time.
Folk. That's folk.
Oh, folk, yeah.
Yeah, it's got some folk. It's got some heavy metal. It's got some electronic in there. It's got a good range of music going for it. The takeaway for me though has to be the battle system. It was just beautifully simple, but it was able to become complex just by the amount of crap that the devs were throwing at you. Like there's that one meme of I don't know who it was. I think it's some I don't know who it is. It's some hooded figure, and he just goes random bullcrap, go, and he just throws a ton of knives, and like that's basically difficulty. But at the same time, yeah, that works out.
Yeah. Something else that I also appreciated was I didn't feel like the game creators compromised on map creation when it came to the difficulty sliders because I played on multiple of the different difficulties as I went through my own playthrough because there were certain parts that became brutally hard
He turned
on
it
the
down to
secret
normal at one
endings.
point because he was getting gamer rage.
I had to turn it down to story mode just to get through one level because whenever you enter a battle, it traps you in it unless you want to leave the game and go back to your previous save.
I didn't know about that. Tell me after we start spoiling.
Yeah, so but something I noticed is that even if you turn down the difficulty or increase it, it doesn't change the layout of the track. It just changes how much health you lose and regain via getting hit.
Oh,
So
that's
even if
not
you have it
bad.
on story mode, you can get the achievements for no hit. So you don't even have to be on the hardest difficulty.
That's actually really stellar of him. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's some good design right there.
Also, that there is the expert mode that you know and had access to, but once you beat the game, that is when you get access to impossible mode, which makes everything one hit.
Like one hit, or one hit.
Like if you get tapped, it ends the game. Like it ends the song, I mean.
Oh, okay. I was really hoping for no hit, where it just ends the save file and you gotta start from square one.
That would be impossible.
That would be
that would,
incredible to
that
watch a
would
speed run of.
I'm getting there. I'm working on it. Um, but yeah, it's the battles is what really stood out to me the most
Mm-hmm.
too, and
Yes, yes. Oh,
the effects are amazing.
the effects were just. Mm, mm.
The fact that so I'm thankful enough to have a pretty decent computer. It didn't actually. I've heard some complaints about a memory leak. I think they've got that fixed as of this
Yeah,
recording.
I saw that there was a. I know we're both. He basically saw the Moist Meter episode from Critical about this video game, and then he told me like, "Hey, you should get Everhood," and I was like, "Okay, yeah, sure." So he basically is going off of that. I'm going off of nothing, and though they did fix some sort of memory leak in an update I read in the patch notes.
Yeah, that's what I was going off from this part.
Yep.
Go on.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if it was directly tied to what Critical was saying, because he was saying that there was some frame hitches during the some effects, and I could see that myself when I played, which was pre-patch, so I still had the memory leak. We both did, actually.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what's happening there.
I was thankful enough, and I actually find this in most video games, that I'm lucky enough that I don't run into very many glitches like that.
Yeah, many
Like
issues.
even in a different discussion, Fallout 76, I barely had any glitches during the beta somehow. But going back to
Sorry,
this,
what?
I didn't actually run into very many glitches in Fallout 76 when it was launching.
Well, that's when it's launching, not when it's playing.
I
That's a groan. That's a groan.
ha ha. So going to this one, I didn't actually experience. I was going to commend the game because I didn't experience very many frame rate drops at all until the very last fight, where the game is just blitzing you with effects.
Yeah, like it. I attribute some of the effects to not LCD. Yes, I attribute the effects to the screen you play this game on. I'm LSD. LSD. It is very. The effects are very trippy. They are very out there. I love them because it really pushes what they can do, and that's what I really like to see. Or at least one thing I like to see. Just a lot of visual flair.
Yeah. Um, what was the most standout fight to you?
Standout fight.
And this will be a slight spoiler, I suppose.
Get back at me on this.
Because for me, and anybody that
Wait,
plays the game, oh, then go ahead.
the first gnome fight.
The first, I was gonna say, the gnome fight is what stood out to me the most too.
I'm not sure if you encountered it, because I just randomly stumbled upon this. But, second spoiler warning, in the second half of the game, you know what I'm talking about, there is... I went back to where I started out, and there was just a random fight all of a sudden, and it was like Gnome 2.0, and it just stopped appearing after that. I wanted to do it again, because I died, but it just didn't appear again.
I don't know if I've seen that one. The first gnome one that was a standout to me was spoilers from here on out, I suppose, because we
This is
keep having to say
spoiler-heavy
spoiler
game.
warnings. Spoilers.
Alright, all wings
Right
off, go.
right after you die in the incinerator, that gnome fight you have, just my only thought was, oh god, why are there so many gnomes? And if you ever watch or play the game, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. That was fun. That was a fun battle.
For me, that my thought during that was just yes, I love all the visual play. This is what I want a game to do. Just make it just incredible to look at, and while also messing with difficulty in that sense of just visual overload. This is fun.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
There are also several secret fights littered throughout the game
Mm-hmm.
that aren't too hard to come across, considering I'm not very good at finding secret stuff, and even I was able to find some of the ones without looking it up on the wiki, which was nice, actually. It made me feel accomplished,
Yeah.
I guess.
I know for a fact that I can find a few of those myself, with a tiny bit of guidance from Temporal over here. The only thing is that I accidentally killed a man, and I didn't give him batteries, and that locked me out of quite a few secrets. So,
Yeah.
the second half is a pretty obvious second half. Like, there's a pretty obvious barrier that stops you, so if you have been going, if you still haven't played this and you're going through a spoiler section for some reason, stop, there you go. Like, there's an obvious barrier. Just round up everything, clean up everything, then you can
Give the
go.
toilet man his batteries so you can get the gem.
So
and
that
you
way
can
that way you can get him a trampoline, and he gives you a super promise, and he's like, wait a minute, I've already given you a super promise.
And then that way you can get a gem that allows you to fight God.
Oh yes, that is correct.
So super spoiler warning for the secret fight in the game. After you collect a whole bunch of stuff, which one of the fights you have to do is literally jump rope. You have to fight a jump rope.
I didn't encounter that.
Yeah, it's one of the secret endings. You have to deal with the brown wizard to get the jump rope fight. And it
Huh.
literally plays like you're doing jump rope. It was cool. It was the most rhythm heavy part of the game.
Wow.
Uh,
Rhythm
that
and
wasn't even
rhythm.
that wasn't the hardest fight. The hardest fight was fighting the cat statue. So the
Oh,
whole
yes.
idea behind the fight is once you gather all the gems, you're allowed to see your maker.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, huh, okay, is it going to be like a giant cat thing or whatever? No, it took it literally. If you want to
I kind of already
imagine what that
saw this.
means.
I think it's literally a I think it's an achievement that they just have unspoiled for some reason. But yeah, there is a developer fight, and they just
Yeah,
go ham on that.
you fight the developers, and they blitz you with stuff. You
Mm-hmm.
actually have to kill them to get out of the fight, otherwise it loops indefinitely.
Oh,
And the only time you could damage them is for like half a second, and you have to make sure you don't get hit, because if you get hit, you can't throw your attack anymore. And they throw up barriers, so if you miss, you're going to hit a barrier and then not do any damage. And that was the fight. I had to drop the difficulty down to get out of it, because I couldn't beat it normally. It was so hard.
what was I thinking of? Shoot. Oh yes.
But yeah,
The
that was a really cool fight.
Yeah, that I like that simple idea. They'll minus the whole lock in, and that's kind of stupid. Um, I, however, encountered my own sort of secret, which is the almost endless hallway. So, in the second half of the game, there was a lock hatch that you can open up, and then in there was one of the people, and he's like, "Hello, I see that you found my almost endless hallway. I made this really, really long, so like, don't go down it, cause there's nothing down at the end." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, sure, let's go down it." you know, average gamer mentality. Don't do this thing. I'm gonna do this thing. So I just start booking it down there, sprint mode, because there's only walk and sprint. So I started sprinting down, and I got an hour and 15 minutes into it, and I decided to stop.
Oh,
I also had work later on, so I would have had to
oh,
leave the game running in order to actually resume. But if I skipped work, I would have finished it. But I wouldn't have my employer would not be very happy.
well, yeah, it's not reasonable to skip work for a video
Yes,
game.
it is. It's an 8-hour hallway. Of course, it's reasonable.
So,
Mhm.
oh, you go on.
Okay, I was just gonna mention at the end of it, there was like a big old room with a ton of drawings in there, and some sort of secret I've forgotten. Oh wait, no, that is an ending. That's an ending to the game.
It
Literally 8 hours
is.
of patience.
It is one of the only secret endings where you can decide to put up your arm and rest.
Hmm?
And technically, because in the game, everyone is indefinitely immortal. Uh, you don't actually end the game; you just stop playing. That's a weird ending. So you are right. It is a secret ending of the game. You walk all the way to the end of the hallway, and you'd be like, "Okay, I'm done," and then you just end the game by stop playing. That's what the character model does.
Yeah. I
So yeah,
was
it's one of the only pacifist runs, if you so will, to compare
I
this back to Undertale.
I do also want to point out the lore bleh, of this game is somewhat simple, at least. The general gist is that there's humans open up a portal to this realm called Everhood, and they go in and they find that they are immortal, and they can witness bliss or true happiness or whatever, and then forget about it and experience it again for eternity because they're immortal. So that means that they can have as much time as they want in the realms, and they're gonna have a grand old time. But then that comes to the moral reasoning of, are they really happy if you forget? And I took away the lesson is that the happiness is not in the moment. Happiness is the memories that you make from happiness is the memories that you make from the experiences that you have. And that's what true happiness is. Looking back in your past and realizing, yeah, that was a good time. And you smiling because of it.
Well, I didn't actually get that one at all.
Yeah.
Um, what I got from it was that they actually, most of them do remember everything that's happened to them if they just so choose. The problem is that with infinite time, life loses meaning.
Yeah,
With no
that too.
end to your life, you lose purpose, and everything becomes boring.
Mm-hmm.
There's even a part where you go to a amusement festival or amusement park with a raceway and a movie theater,
And
and everyone
obstacle
looks like
course.
they all look like they're having a fun time, but reality is that nothing's ever different. I mean, one of the characters is literally in a movie theater watching a static screen, and he's like, "Hey, you want to watch my favorite part of this?"
That's
And
also
you
the
turn towards
stupid
the
character,
screen
though.
and watch it. I think, yeah, but he used to be human, and now he's a slime creature.
Yeah, and like there was a person who used to be human and now he's a ram, and another one who used to be human and now he's a Dracula, and another one who is now a Nosferatu, sneezing Nosferatu. Like your
Nosferatu.
your point's kind of invalid there. There's also a human who's just a clerk worker.
I know, but I was more taking it.
There's a human that's an
You are.
ATM. There's a human that's a trash can.
That is true. Well, there were creatures in Everhood before humans got in there,
Fair.
according to it. That
I
I
didn't
heard.
have that set in my brain.
Um, I mean, it is called the automated terror machine, but people also made lampposts and doors that talk, and everyone's immortal, so it's not like it follows exact logic that we know it.
And of course,
So
lampposts talk to
you're
you,
likely
and they're
right.
like, "Hey, wanna save?"
Oh, my favorite lamppost was the one in the D&D campaign.
What was that one again? Oh yes.
It was like there's a 50% chance that your save will be deleted. Your save has been deleted. And then it pauses, and it actually makes it sound like it's being deleted. And it goes, just kidding, your game's been saved. And then just lets you go on.
um, I was thinking of the one before that. In the opening section of that, and it's just a lamppost that's been bent up, and it's a cow post.
Oh yeah, and it goes moo.
Yes.
And to save the game, you press moo.
Not gonna lie, the RPG section is just great because it's not. You don't have a chance for gameplay. It's just a chance for talking. Uh,
Yeah, and I also.
I
Oh, go on.
I have a thing to talk about, but you talk about it first.
So I was going to wrap up the D&D section. I also really liked that it actually hints at the combat that will come in later in the game. It's kind of like an
Yes.
introductory segment to
Yes.
it.
Yes. Yes.
I really appreciated the design behind it.
Mm-hmm. So I was going to mention this game is Undertale-esque, but I wouldn't say it's on the same level as Undertale for me at least. And the big reason for that is the characterization is split up in Everhood, while in Undertale it's all merged together. Now I'm being a bit vague because I'm gonna say this. In Undertale, conversations extend into the battle with acting and interacting and whatnot, and you kind of have to gauge how the enemy is emotionally while you fight in order to pacify them. Meanwhile, in Everhood, you don't have to worry about that. If you're on good terms with them or not, the fight's going to be the same. Because it's music based and they don't want to make 15 different music tracks for when they're sad or depressed. And
Yeah.
so the gameplay and the conversations are very distinct there. And that made and it just clicked in my head like that separation of those two core gameplay cogs, I guess, um, really make you go, really didn't fill in the characters emotionally for me, I guess. If that makes
I
sense.
I talk to
Attach.
them every single. Yeah, I get attached to them. I
Mm-hmm.
talk to the characters every single chance I got. So I think I did get a little more attached to them because I was legitimately feeling guilty towards the end of the game on my first playthrough because I didn't want to kill them, but the game's like, this is your sole goal.
Yeah, in the opening, it was literally like, this like something along the
Just
lines of this is the path that we created for you, and this is the only way through.
yeah, and like talking to them and actually getting in the fight, there isn't much to it, but interacting with them at the dance club, interacting with them at the track way, stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that, interacting with them on the giant run that took forever through the sand dune,
Yes.
uh, just the general interacting and trying to get to know them a little bit more because they're the only things you have to get attached to in that world. Kind of endeared me to them. I didn't understand if I was supposed to be friends with them or not because there was a fight where like this guy is like a friend with you, but then he's like, "You're not my friend," and then he loses his cool because you're murdering everybody, and he tries to murder you back and sets the world on fire and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I can get what you mean because playing it the second time, I was like, I'm gonna murk all these people. The first time around, I was like, I don't want to kill them,
Uh,
especially when I killed was fighting the slime bros and I murdered the green one first,
yeah.
and the blue one lost his mind.
Um,
Anyway,
I was gonna mention that the make it just chance though. Um, the first time I was finishing the game, I was just like, hey, you know what? I see you there. I know you're gonna be sad. I know this is a good thing because in lore, it was something along the lines of you killing them frees them from this immortal realm and lets them experience death finally, and that lets them carry on and have a lets them live again. And my entire thought process was, listen, I know this looks like a bad thing, but trust me, I'm doing it for your good. It's like going around to people, giving them a knife wound when all their blood is poisoned.
yeah, I mean, I ended up using that justification to continue myself going through the game,
Mm-hmm.
but on the second playthrough, a lot more things made a lot more sense now, and there's some other secrets that you can do on the second playthrough too.
Oh,
It's a new game plus.
yes, I know
Yeah,
that, but I didn't know that there were special secrets.
yeah, I can talk about them a minute for you. I haven't gotten to do them personally yet, but I did read up on how to do them because I was curious as if there was anything.
No need to wait a minute, just talk. This
Okay.
this be a podcast.
So after you finish the first game through, you enter a new game plus. Actually, all of your saves become new game plus saves, and any game you play afterwards is forced to be a new game plus.
Alright,
Um, so what ends up happening is as you're playing the game, it actually allows you to make different decisions slightly because you know what's going to happen, so you can plan differently. Like there's a ghost that you talk to, and it gives you an 8 ball. You can just choose to never talk to the ghost, and things won't interact with you the same if you do that. It's and then eventually, as you're going through the game, Senior Frog will show up again saying, "Hey, I noticed that you've been walking around here like you've been through this before. This isn't your first time, huh? Better be careful because there's other people that'll notice that thing." Turns out there's actually a character and another door that'll open up, like a yellow door, and it's a secret fight that you have to do. I don't know what all of it entails, but it basically will change your character from being red to yellow. And it'll be like 2 different endings. One, well, both of them you're trapped in that dimension forever, apparently. So yeah, it's the only like active pacifist route you can take.
well,
But it's not a good ending.
I'm
Just an interesting one.
trying to remember how to get to the crooked door again. Because I know you have to enter it from the backside. Because if you can get in through that, if you can get to that area before anything, then you can do a different pacifist route with the hallway. But that's a hallway.
Oh, well, the door I'm talking about doesn't even show up until later in the game on that new game plus run.
Yeah, yeah. But true pacifist is what I'm going for. Is that a
Right.
possibility of a true pacifist? Just
Uh,
spitballing.
you can't. The only way to choose it, and the game even tells you this, is if you want to stop playing the game. If you want to be a pacifist, you just have to turn the game off.
Mm.
It's found out later that the character you're playing as is actually a different character that lost its corporeal form a long time ago and is basically allowing humans or yourself to take over itself and then go and murder everybody.
And that's done through a red bandana over their eyes.
It was done through the doll itself, but then later on it was done through the symbol of the red bandana. Yeah.
Hmm.
That was where I was like, huh. And then more things made sense later on. Like going up to the mirror. There's a part where you go up to a mirror and you talk to yourself, basically, and it's like, I hate you. You're doing a bad thing. And everyone's going to hate me afterwards. It's like, why is myself talking to me like this? This doesn't make any sense. Is the doll getting angry about me wanting to go do this? That doesn't make any sense. I know things are anthropomorphized in this universe, but jeez. And turns out there's a different part to it later on.
There was also the I had it on the tip of my tongue just now. Oh yes, there's also the fact that you don't talk at all, which is
Mm-hmm.
why people inhabit the doll, and that's why they don't talk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the doll itself doesn't talk, but the minute the doll is destroyed, man, that character is a chatterbox. um, there's only one more thing I really wanted to mention that I thought was a nice touch on the second playthrough, is that when your character first dies in the incinerator and you go through that psychedelic trip with the gnomes fight and all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you actually see the creators of the game for a short bit.
Mm.
And you also end up in a place where you end up in the end of the game when you fight the sun,
Oh.
which I thought was a nice touch. Like, you actually ended up in the afterlife early on, and then you get sent back because the game's like, hey, you're not supposed to be here yet, so get out of here. I appreciated that.
Mm-hmm.
It was a nice bit of continuity because technically your character dies, and at the end of the game you end up in the same spot, and like, hey, you're here now. You're here where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be here. Good job.
I also want to give a big shout out to the moment at the end credits where it was a what was it? Where they literally showed up. Oh yeah, well they were like, hey, thanks for playing. If you want to reach out to us, use an email if you want to say thanks or whatever.
Yeah, each oh yeah, if you that reminds me, if you do the creator fight where you fight the creators of the game, it actually like deletes the game basically. It doesn't actually delete it off your system, but it ends the game right then and there once you beat them.
It just closes the window.
Yeah, and
Uh,
then it opens up with a window saying, "Hey, thanks for playing our game. If it made you feel a certain way, please let us know at this email link." So that reminded me of that. That was,
that's a bit anticlimactic.
I mean, you are fighting the creators of the game.
Yeah, but I mean, I thought I was going to do something a bit better than that.
Oh, as you're fighting them, they actually showed screenshots of them creating the game.
Oh yeah, and like they have Audacity, like like videos of Audacity in the pack too.
Man, I gotta find that gnome fight you're talking about. I don't remember fighting that.
I don't know what happened. I was just killing it, and I was like, let's go back, and then I did, and then it was like gnomes, and I was like, what the heck?
I do remember the mushroom fight. That was the standout fight at the beginning of the game. The brown mushroom.
Oh yes, the skinny one, because there's two brown mushrooms.
Yeah.
Yes. He was like, hey, you gotta do this fight, and I was like, I think it was I just did it. I don't know.
Oh, and did you find all the universal truths?
I found two, and then the secret one, which is the end one.
So you did find all of them, I think.
Yes.
Because I only found 3. Now,
That
I
sounds
really
right.
liked them because when it first starts out, the first one you get, it says there are many universal truths. Like there's tons of them. So many you could never figure them all out. The second time, it says there are only some universal truths. And the last one just straight up says there are no universal truths. You can choose whatever you want to believe.
I didn't know that. That's a nice touch.
Yeah. I was like, oh, that's very nice.
Here's the universal truth. We are bound by physics.
Yep, we are. We do have to adhere to the physical limitations of our
The
reality.
entirety of Everhood has been destroyed. There was no reason to play it. Podcast over.
I mean, if you play through the traditional ending of the game, you do destroy all of reality. I wonder how that does work. Because Everhood is its own dimension. All right, here's an interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
How do you do you think that Everhood had an impact on the actual reality that the humans came from? Like, does your character actually just destroy reality itself?
Oh, I see. Does the actions of Everhood impact Everhood itself?
Yeah.
There's two theories that come to my head immediately, because,
Hmm.
this is the first time I've heard this question. The first one being, Everhood has like a reset button entirely, similar to how you can forget your memories, reality can forget what happened, which
Hmm.
would also explain why there's multiple saves. And it will allow you to, it would just do like a restore point on the computer and just start back up. Uh, the other half, though, I'm already fading on what I was thinking of. Oh,
Well, it
right,
does.
the reality just snaps, nothing happens, and, the humans go back to who they were beforehand, but time has passed along, and it's post-apocalyptic because no one was there to actually take care of the human land.
Hmm. In the lore, it actually did say that there were some people that stayed behind in the human realm.
Mm.
It was all of the weak, sick, elderly children, people who couldn't go
Yeah,
or just
but, I
decided not
mean,
to.
that's not gonna keep an entire planet surviving.
That is true. Also, in Everhood, at the end of the game, you literally have a fight where you destroy the sun, cause a supernova, kill all life around you, or at least in Everhood, and then promptly fight the fabric of reality until time ends and the universe implodes on itself.
So I guess this isn't a theory, it's a natural thing that happens in the game.
But only in Everhood. My question was, does it happen to the reality itself?
I wouldn't say so.
Because Everhood does play to the end of reality. The song, the fight you fight at the end of the game, legitimately says time is now reaching its end, and now we're reaching the end of all matter. And the song starts to break for the first time, which I thought was a cool note.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
Also, you can find the playlist for Everhood on Spotify under
Spoofy.
Everhood soundtrack.
There is also the Everhood OST on YouTube.
That is true.
That is true. That's an absolute truth.
Um, I think that's all the spoilers and stuff of the game. The game is short, but
The art is good. We didn't touch about the art. The art's
the art is
fantastic.
the pixel art is
Mm.
great. It's great.
It's like Undertale, but if Toby had like a
A lot
few
more
more
time.
experience in pixel art. It's got like shading and details and different parts move, and it's real good. It's nothing that
It
you.
also
It's not like it's gonna be like, whoa, this is like incredible pixel art. I'm surprised this is pixel art made by a person. Like, it's still relatively tame, but it's still like, dang, this is some good pixel art.
it's also nice that they used pixel arted 3D models in the fights sometimes too.
Here and there, I think, if
They
memory
did it
serves me right.
with they combined a pixel art character with a 3D model that looked like pixel art for the mecha suit fight. They combined it again with the trash can
Yeah,
fight.
I was gonna
They
say
had a
trash.
pixel
That
arted.
that's a voxel art, I think, is the official term for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was still impressed that they were
Hmm.
able to combine the two as fluidly as they were.
Yeah.
And then the end fight scene is just like, okay, combine all the effects, why don't you?
Oh,
Because it combines
I'm
everything.
I'm sorry. I know we're 40 minutes into this, but please do remember photosensitive warning to the entire game.
Oh, just like the game, it doesn't warn you till you exit the game.
No, it does. It warns you when you boot it up.
So it's a little joke for myself because when I played the game, it didn't warn me. I didn't see the warning when I first started playing the game.
Oh.
It doesn't matter to me, but I didn't see it. And then at the end of the game, I finished the game and it reloads itself, and I was like, photosensitive warning. I was like, oh, well, that would have been nice to know 11 hours ago. Although I couldn't have guessed from all of the flashing lights.
Man, it looks like there's a rave happening in front of my eyes. I wonder if there should be a photosensitive warning to this game.
Yeah. I might actually, I've been contemplating, just on a side note, of trying to no fail and then be one of the nerds. That's not fair. Being one of the chads that do a no hit run through the game.
Honestly, good luck with that, because that seems like a monstrous mountain to climb down.
Yeah, especially since the difficulty ramps up towards the end of the game.
It isn't like standard pattern stuff, like one thing's going to the left, the other's going to right, and it's got this nice double helix. It's like, no, it's just random notes.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of just a good game. It's worth it. I wouldn't.
How much is it? I'm checking.
It was $10.
Is it 10?
Yeah, it is $10. Maybe 15. It's $10.
It is $10.
Picking up.
The soundtrack itself is $10, and there is a discount on the bundle.
I do say support the creators and potentially. I mean, obviously, play the game if it seems interesting to you. Look up a review first if you're not sure. But man, it's worth the $10.
Very first comment: Gino from Super Mario RPG goes to a rave, does hardcore drugs, and beats up the entire population.
It's true though.
Mm-hmm. That sums up the entire podcast. Podcast over.
Podcast over. Podcast over.
Another one. A door floated with me. It made me feel feelings it never felt before. Edit. There's a grammatical error 3 hours and this is inexcusable.
Now I'm trying to think of. I could probably write an essay. Not that I'm the kind that normally do that, but it is a game you could write.
You know what you use essays for, and it's not called entertainment.
Yeah, that's true. I was just thinking about more if I had to write an essay on this, it'd be like, yeah, you could. There's enough themes in it that you could come up with something.
I mean, I'm so proud of my theory of happiness is in the past, not in the moment.
I do like that one as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's true because of the last fight where it's like, I was happy.
Yeah.
I was happy. I was happy. Was I ever happy? It's like, yeah.
Man, that's a bit close to home.
It did hit close to home. Did you ever try, I know a challenge run. Count every single year on that infinite hallway.
Yeah? There were years?
Well, because each line going down that hallway was 1 year.
Wait, that was a year?
Yeah.
Where does it say that?
He tells you.
Oh.
I was like, that's a year. That's a lot of lines.
Oh.
Yeah, they've been there a while. Like a really long time.
I'm gonna assume, based off of pixel density and how long the hallway is, and the fact that's 8 hours long, and there's some ticks beforehand too.
And after.
I'm gonna say past the heat death of the universe.
It was so many. Because it's like.
I thought those were days.
No, those were years.
Yeah.
And he lost his mind to the point where he threw his eyeball away.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's how you meet him. You give him back his eyeball.
Mm-hmm. Oh, something else did you pick up on is that the only way to gain magical powers in that universe is to imbue your body with one of the stones that are from, like, the embodiments of the universe, which also coincides, the colors of those stones and the colors of the mages coincides with the colors of the notes that come at you.
Yes, I noticed that in the pig fight, that the gems glow when the notes come out, and like the green one closed when the green one's out. And I also noticed, kind of obviously, when you kill everyone, the gems shatter as well.
Yeah.
So
What I didn't know initially and learned later on by reading the lore that you can find throughout the game is that the gems have to replace a sense of your body if they're to be fully used. So like that's why the
he
one
had his
green
eye.
wizard had an eye.
Mhm.
The pink mage, I think he gave up his body because you never see his like actual form. He just looks like he's a robe with a hat on and some hair.
Yeah, you're right there.
And when he pops, he like pops. And something else is that pink, which is what actually is inside of your character, lost its entire body
Well,
and is considered the most powerful.
so did purple then. So pick and
Well, I think
choose. Yeah.
purple just. I'll re-clarify. I think purple lost the ability to touch because it never does
Mm.
lift its arms up, and pink lost its entire corporeal form.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not intended, and I'm looking too far into it, but it seemed like that's a possibility.
What about
'Cause
pig
pink-
then?
Pink is
No,
the most
pig.
powerful one.
Pig.
Oh, pig? He never actually has them in him. He only wears them.
Oh yeah.
And when he dies, all of them shatters, but he also looks one of the least human,
Mm-hmm.
and he's the most emotionally corrupt, so he could have lost his sense of humanity.
He literally looks like an obese cannon.
He looks like Ganon if you decided to go on a Del Taco binge forever or something. Oh.
Everhood is good game. You should go play. It is $10 on the Steam. It is good. You play as Gino from Super Mario RPG. You play the game and kill people and you win the game. Yeah.
Oh, so you liked the Nosferatu.
Yes.
That's something that I thought was interesting.
Mainly because Nosferatu was like the only character who I actually bonded with more than anything.
I didn't really.
Not even to Blue. I didn't even bond that well to Blue.
I just picked him up because I kind of felt I pitied him.
Well,
Really?
I mean, yeah, but still. I also want to point out Everhood is on the Nintendo Switch if you want to play it that way.
Oh, that's cool.
It is on Steam, Humble, GOG, and Switch.
And it is most certainly
And
worth picking up.
there is an itch.io and Game Jolt demo if you want to play those as well.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
I found out on their website literally just now. And they have a server with about 5,000 members. That's actually really close to 5,000.
I might actually look that up later.
Oh, they
after
even
this
credit
episode.
the artwork who they use in their Discord server. That's awesome.
That is. I really do like the game creators. I believe it is just two guys. I like the fact that they were like, "Hey, can you please tell us like about our game?" Now the game's title is Everhood, but the tagline underneath it is ineffable or inexperiencable. Ineffable experience.
An ineffable tale of the inexpressible divine moments of truth.
That. You got it. I can't say words. I'm not a Sims character. But I do talk like one sometimes. Anyway.
I should continue our
Yeah.
Sims run. Well, it's just
It
us
is.
two.
Oh yeah! That'd be fun to stream. And then upload to YouTube or something. Or
I
just
think-
watch you play.
I think it has our actual name, so that would be an issue.
Oh.
Names and faces.
Just bleep that part out of the podcast. Huh. Interesting OCs.
I mean, it's okay if we say that sort of names. It's just not our actual names, you know. I'm not gonna say my name is, and your name is.
My name is what? My name is
No. Like, sis, I don't want to go. My name's Steven and your name's Johnson. Okay, now
No, I know.
Now in post, cut this bit out and then just bleep over those names. I'm joking. I'm leaving this all in.
That would be funny.
Completely
though.
meta.
That would be funny though if like you did actually just bleep those parts out and
No.
we kept all of this in. So like what?
Including the meta bit, we just go one.
Including the meta bit.
How many layers are there?
I don't know. Okay. Did you get got by the game a couple times? Just to wrap up the discussion of the game,
What
there were
do
some
you
parts.
what do you mean get got? Define get
So like
got.
there was pathways that would be intentionally designed to lead you one way, and if you tried to walk down it, the game would laugh at you
Like
and then tell you to go the other
actually
way.
laugh?
Yeah, there was a laugh track sound. It's the first song on the playlist on Spotify too.
That's my favorite song. That's my favorite song.
Yeah, it's not my favorite, but
Obviously.
each to their own.
I peed. I peed when I laughed. I'm so sorry.
Um, yeah, I mean, the goo fight was annoying to finally find Pig at the end because you can keep following that path infinitely. You have to walk
Yes.
backwards, and you instantly get there. I was like, "You're kidding me."
I mean, for me, what ended up happening was I went through it the first time, and I went looped around. I was like, "Wait a minute, this is the opening session," and I was like, "Whoop, whoop," and then I was like, "Hello, Mr. Pig. How are you today?" I
I
also
just
knew that was the final one, because the door at the end said there is one more to kill, and I was like, "Okay, cool." Oh,
so for me.
Fun
Mhm.
fact. Temporal, I almost said your actual name. Temporal didn't grab a key item that would have helped him finish the game faster, which is the lantern, and you get that from spirits when you start killing everyone. And it's like, oh yeah, you just stand. No, he did get that, but you stand
I
still,
didn't.
and a path forms at your feet, showing you which direction to go. And he didn't get that.
Yeah, I just systematically remembered where the characters were, and then went through every spot where they could have been and killed everything that was in that area.
I mean, that would have been a pain for the pig then, right? Or were you like,
It
oh hey, funny
was.
pink trail, let's follow it?
He wasn't actually my last one to kill, but it was a pain to find.
Well, your last
I
one's the
went to,
spirit.
no, for me the last one before the last one was purple, the purple
Oh,
mage.
okay. I don't remember what mine was. I feel like it might have been blue. No, I feel like it might have been something in the forest area.
I found Pig pretty early on because I was like, oh, I'm gonna go kill that spider for the first time because it's
Mm.
like a cave spider. By the way, that
I
startled the crud out of me when I heard that there was like a maze monster, and I was like, oh, okay. And I walked in the maze, and it just so fast.
the first time I encountered the monster was in the killing section. It's like, here, buddy, 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 buddy. I want to greet you to my knife.
For me, it just came so fast. I was like,
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't encounter him at all.
I encountered him a lot.
Well, that's your
Sorry.
issue, not mine.
Yeah. I ended up fighting him so many times I got the achievement unlucky, which means you had to fight him 12 times, I think.
No, wow, I didn't know that was an achievement. Speaking of achievements, there's an achievement for jump pulling 150,000 times.
Yeah. Uh
I'm not gonna do
I
that
will,
anytime soon.
I'm not either. I did get so far I've gotten no hit green mage ATM. I got agile, so I've done or no, I haven't done that one yet. I got where is it? Hold
Um,
on.
I've got
I
some
got the
pretty,
151.
a 150.
Yeah. I
That's not
got
that
bad
many.
luck, no hit maze monster. Oh, you got the apocalypse note?
What's that?
I have no idea. That sounds cool.
I'm gonna look into it because if you're interested now, I'm interested. Uh, let's see here. What was it? Apocalypse?
Note, yeah. Trying to look for my achievements. I've unlocked already 29 of the achievements. Here, I'm looking through my achievements
Hold
real
on.
quick. Personal achievements. Oh, I actually did get agile. I've done 1,000 jump rolls.
Apocalypse note. I don't know what that one does, so I'm gonna look it up on the web right now.
I've gotten what can it be, which I thought was funny. It's like, what can it be in the box?
How
What's
bad?
in the box?
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah, I think so. That's what
Wow.
I got.
How bad
Got
and can I be?
BBEG defeated. Bad luck. Taking it slow. Smell the flowers. Did you
Um,
get quantum battle?
yes.
How about taking it slow, smell the flowers?
Oh, I found an entire list of achievements thanks to the wiki. An
Hmm.
Apocalypse Note, an achievement that can be gotten in Everhood, obviously, by reading the note found on the top left desk of Professor Orange's lab in Mushroom Forest after defeating Grundle.
Uh,
Uh,
oh,
Quantum Battle, though, let me have a look here. Q.
while he looks it up, it did remind me that it was revealed
Found it.
in the game that I'll say this real quick. It was revealed in the game that when they first got there, they were like chilling out, they were having a good time, they were having parties or whatever, they were making stuff, and then they got apathetic and bored and started looking out more and more dangerous things. So they would legitimately start going around and killing and dismembering and like maiming each other. Like they would just do crazy dark things, and then eventually they just got bored of that too.
I know,
Which is why there's so
they're just
few
apathetic.
humans. Yeah, that's why there's so many more lost souls and so few humans that are actually in Everhood. Anyway,
Quantum Battle. An achievement that can be gotten in Everhood by surviving the quantum battle with Professor Orange in his lab.
Oh, that was easy though.
Yeah. There's also apparently Light Beam. The Light Beam is a minor character in Everhood, serving as a boss that provides a crucial item, the Emerald, which is required for an ending, some particular one.
Oh.
The song plays the Emerald boss, then the boss themselves can provide the Dev Gnome's ending.
Yeah, that was what I did. I had to fight that light being, and he was hard.
Okay,
He was like the first indication that the game was going to get really tough.
the light one. The boss fight will be triggered once the following requirements have been met. Brown Mage is given toilet paper's batteries and nice stick acquiring the gold key. Vampire Boy Universal Record is beaten for the cake and carnival. Cake is given to the golem in Midnight Town for the hook. Give the hook to the fish for the stick. Batteries, that's how you get it. Green Age is that. Okay, so that just tells you how to get it. Brown Mage will then give you the gold key for your troubles, opening the chest in the flower shop with the gold key. Once the requirement has been met, Red will open the chest with the gold key, and the fight will begin.
It is a hard fight. It's one of the earliest, hardest fights I've ever done.
Fun fact, Temporal had a hard time with the florist.
Okay, yeah. I did have a hard time with the florist first. Don't embarrass me. Anyway,
Yes,
yeah,
I do.
the florist is tough, man. He's a tough cookie. Have you tried to fight an angry botanist? I'm gonna sick their plants on you.
Yeah, and he's gonna take all the LCD around and shove it in your face.
That's basically what he did.
Yeah. And like the hardest bit about that was knowing when it was gonna happen, so you could prepare for the lag spike that was about to come in.
Yeah. Hey, all right, really quick. You don't have to keep
Hey, all,
this part in
Scott
per
here.
se, but I think it'd be kind of cool to do like. Actually, on a side tangent,
I'm
I wonder
leaving
if
this
they'll
all in,
ever
by the
make-
way.
I wonder if they'll ever make like other games, not necessarily a sequel to this one, because I don't know if I even want
But
that.
just a different
ever.
game, yeah.
But just a different game. I am interested to see what these devs do in the future if they ever do anything
Not
else.
a Never Ever Hood, but you know.
Yeah, I don't think a sequel would do this one justice because it was
No.
good on its own right.
Oh yes. For more content though, there is the custom battle thing.
There is the custom battle, and I really appreciated that because they already put the entire thing in the game.
Yeah.
They put the creator in the game, so you can create your own
Oh,
battles
is it
like they do.
in game, like sort of like how Beat Saber has a in-game mapper?
Yeah, but it's already complete, like how the tools they used.
Oh, nice. That's packaged with
Yeah,
the
that's
game
what I
and
was-
everything. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I always love when a dev does that because that means that it's just a bit easier for everyone to make content and
Yeah.
helps keep the
So
game
I'm looking
going.
forward. I am looking forward to seeing the content they come out with. Now, just to throw some shade towards Beat Saber, I think that the original story and maps for this game was a lot better than the Beat Saber maps.
I mean, yeah, because these are
Mm.
two very different games, and you can't expect VR developers to get everything right on their first try.
Yeah, that's very true. Man, those Gorilla songs though. Sorry, side tangent.
When Camilla go,
The Camilla go.
and the notes go like.
Uh, I think that's all I have to say about Everhood. Just a solid game. If I had to give it a rating, I'd give it an 8 or a 9 out of 10. I'm pretty harsh on my ratings in that regard,
Nice.
but I'd I'd give it like a 9. I think I got a solid 9.
For me, I would have to give Everhood a solid 5 out of 10. Some of the puzzles were too confusing, but the clay aesthetic was great. The music was incredible. I loved, I forget his name actually. What, like, the Clayman. I love Clayman. Bill, it said that he died and how he died, but but it just had to be this way. And the ending was kind of clever because there were 2 split paths. So that's my rating, 5 out of 10. The funny thing is,
Okay,
that is the
okay, IGN reviewer.
no, but like the thing is, that is actually Neverhood. Oh, that's right, I forgot. There is one connection to Neverhood with Everhood that isn't the name. There's a long lore-based hallway in Neverhood that you have to walk down, pick up a cassette which is required to beat the game, and then walk back. And that is a required bit of the game. And there's like little tiny scratches on the walls. And those scratches is actual lore, biblical lore to the entire lore of Neverhood. And it explains
Which
everything about the game. And it's incredible that they did that. I have someone at my door. What is it? Someone at the door. Alright, we'll clear all that out. What happened?
No, I haven't said anything.
No, you were talking.
I know I didn't say anything.
I mean, I know you were talking earlier, but whatever. Alright.
Oh, you said someone was coming in, and then I just stopped talking.
No. Okay, cool. So we're back. Hi. What was that? Oh yeah, no, my rating. I would have to give this game a solid 7.4 to be precise. It is a solid game. It is well worth $10. The I personally did not connect with any of the characters myself, but that is my issue and not the game's issue. And it was just fun to play, and everyone who is listening should give it a chance, at least, because $10 isn't that much. If you can afford it, then go ahead.
And it most certainly earned itself back.
Yes.
I'd say it was a
Even,
lot more fun than a season of whatever content you can get off of Apex or whatever. I mean, I love Apex, but $10 a season of that, or a really solid story-based game that has like good story implications, but great music and great gameplay.
yeah, the gameplay is what sold it for me.
Yeah, the visuals too.
Mm-hmm.
And as a word of the wise to anyone who's getting into this game, don't let the simplicity fool you on streamers and stuff like that of other people you watch. The game gets surprisingly complex.
Yeah, I kind of
On
see where
the,
you're coming from, but I wouldn't say that.
I mean, like with the note, because I'm talking about the secret fights mostly.
That would explain it.
For trying to do a no hit, it's
Yeah.
super hard.
If you're playing through the game normally, it's fine. But if you're going for like actual playing the game difficulty, then it's like, ugh.
Yeah, and I think it's worth playing on a harder difficulty. It definitely feels good when you get through it.
I just played on hard, and that was it.
Yeah, I've been working on my no fail runs.
Yep.
I think I got halfway through. Anyway, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for joining me and being down for this. And once again,
Thank you for having
Cornholio.
me.
Yes, you're welcome. I also want to say once again, Cornholio, thank you for being accepting about me wanting to bring on other people. Because that was very nice of you since it started out as specifically us two, because we were both named Corn. That is the end of our little podcast for Everhood. And I hope you have I'm trying to think of a joke, but I can't make up one. Insert Everhood joke here. See.
Bye.